Welcome to the top of the morning show. This is your girl TT from the D, and I am super excited about my morning show this morning. It's a hot morning this morning, so let me just say this before I bring my amazing guest into the building. Grab your cup of coffee or grab your cup of tea. And somewhere in the world, somebody's drinking a mimosa. I wish that was me. But right after this show, I'll be heading out to work. So that's not going to be me today. But today is a beautiful Tuesday. Why? Because I have Crystal P back in the building. For those of you that know, yesterday we had the opportunity to kick in the door. And she is coasting steady today. She brought her special guest today. Remember, I didn't want to tell you who it was yesterday because I wanted you to kind of look at the promotional videos and the flyers because you definitely know this fella. If you don't know him personally, ladies and gentlemen, the voice is distinctive, but he is someone that has shared the stage with some of the most amazing people. And Crystal is one of those people. And I have the opportunity to have Crystal do this takeover this week because her event is this coming Saturday. Now, as we said yesterday, I hope you are not one of those people that wait to the very last minute to get your tickets. If you were waiting and saying, I'm just got to wait on my girlfriend, my sister, my friend, my baby daddy, and I'm going to get my VIP because I want to be up close and personal. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, the VIP is all sold out, which is a beautiful thing because it's a worthy cause. However, we still have some tickets available at this point. Now, this is Tuesday. It's Tuesday morning. What happens after this morning show? I can't promise you. We did talk yesterday. And if you are one of those people that need to pull up to the spot this coming Saturday to try to get you a ticket, you definitely want to get there when those doors open, which will open at 6:00. So without any further ado, I have the beautiful Crystal P in the building and the smooth, multi-talented DeLorean Cotton. Welcome, King and Queen. Welcome, welcome.
Hey. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I am doing well. I can't complain. I have my cup of coffee this morning. I'd rather have a mimosa, but I got to drive into the office today. That wouldn't work out quite well for me.
Well, I'm drinking tea because I'm trying to preserve my voice for Saturday. And like you said, they better get on these tickets because after yesterday's show, we sold a few more. So
that's how
I don't know what to tell the people.
So the people, they in the building or they not in the building. They gonna be in the windows outside peeping into the lobby because they dang sure can't see the show. So before we jump into our interview, for those of you that don't know DeLorean, I would love for you to actually give an introduction of who you are because you do a lot of amazing things. As a matter of fact, I know you and I are also working on Peerless Times. We'll be kicking that off the following weekend, next weekend. But give the listening people a little bit of pleasure before we dive into you and Crystal's interview today, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. My name is DeLorean Cotton, for those of you that don't know. But I'm sure you know now. But I'm a singer and an actor. And, I've done stage plays and film work and for years, and I also have done some recordings and done some backgrounds for a few artists and toured with a few people and things like that throughout my timeline. So I'm just ecstatic to
Did I lose you still there? D-Lo, you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. We can hear you. Yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was saying that I'm ecstatic to be a part of, different people's projects because that's just what I do. So especially, when you have people like Crystal, who's an amazing person and great at what she does. Anytime I'm asked to be a part of someone's production, whether it's I'm trying to think, have I ever been a part of I've been the talent like at the halftime and stuff like that, but the way we doing this is a little different. This is probably like the first time that I've been a part of something like this. But yeah, no, that's just me. I'm D-Lo.
I love it.
He being modest, TT.
He is. I know. I said, you know what? I can appreciate this. But that just made me say, you know what? I got to get D-Lo on the show on his own, because he watered that down like some soup that I wouldn't eat. And you know what? It's like, it's respected because it's humbling, I could say, and it's respected because this is Crystal. It's all about you. But, and like you said yesterday morning, you got some heavy hitters. There's nobody, as a matter of fact, there's nobody going to be on that stage that's not a heavy hitter in their own right. And have not worked with amazing people and loaned their vocals to some amazing talent. So, yeah.
But I like how you put it, talking about he watered it down, girl. That is, he did it like chicken with no season. I'm like, who this man? Because the D-Lo that I know has headlined his own shows, but he is affectionately known throughout the Metro Detroit area as the wedding singer. He is one to go to if you need your wedding right and you want to make sure that the Lord's Prayer is sung yet in the right key. Because, you know, everybody can't sing everything, but I'm mind my business and stuff, since this ain't my show. But he working and operating on a whole different ministry than some of these people out there. Yeah. He can put on a show, and he gonna come dressed clean as the Board of Health. When I tell you that brother dressed clean as Doctor's Cotton, listen, he clean as Doctor's Cotton. Everything about him clean. Even his car. We in winter weather. He gonna pull up, and that whole car is yet gonna not have a speck of snow on it, because you will not have a snow top fade on your vehicle.
Not snow top fade. I can't. I can't.
Now she took me out with that one.
Yes.
You're right though. You're right.
And it's crazy because it's like I too, man, DeLorean, we met. Oh man, who production when we met? Was it a TJ or was it Roz?
You know what? I don't think it was TJ because we met before.
Was it? It wasn't a Vanessa Lynn project, was it?
No, it wasn't Vanessa Lynn. Now I'm stuck. Did Tiffany Boyer? Did you do anything with Tiffany Boyer?
No, I know who she is. We've never worked directly together.
That just go to show you how long his resume is.
Yeah, but we've definitely worked together many years ago, and then just always have love and see each other out in the field. And what was so amazing, Crystal, is because DeLorean and I are both working on Peerless Times right now. Right. And so I came in initially as on the production administration side, and now I'm have slidden over to stage management, and so which is my forte anyway. But when they told me DeLorean was coming in, I'm like, oh, it's going down. You know how you work with some people, and when you hear a name and you be like, oh, it's going down. You're like, all right, we already know.
You saw what happened when I brought him in the rehearsal.
Yeah,
it was like a Detroit family reunion because everybody is connected somehow, some way, or they'll sit and look at you for a second, like, wait a minute, I know him, I know her.
Yeah.
This so remember? And everybody hugging and like they had been with each other all that time. So you're not gonna meet a stranger. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's true. And our circles are small here in the D, and greats run with greats. Let me say that.
That part with greats. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm a little heavy, so I walk with them, but I'm not gonna run.
I can't take you.
We can walk briskly, but I.
Okay, so y'all already see what y'all getting for the show because clearly she got us on here balling. So you already know what you gonna get your money's worth regardless.
That's for sure. For sure. I can't. Okay, with a K. Okay, but
DeLorean is the runner anyway. You're going to see him running marathons. And he got awards around his neck and all this sweat be dripping and shorts and he got all that stuff. Anything equipped for running. I just politely cheer from the side like, go. I'll hold the take when he come in place. But no, I'm not running. No, the only thing that run on me is my stockings.
I can't. I just can't.
It's too early.
It is. It's too early for the shenanigans, ma'am. It's too early for the shenanigans, but I'm here for it. I'm sure the listeners is here for it too as they get ready for work and school. I'm sure they're ready. But let's dive into it because we can have our own conversation just because of our connection. I would love.
You gotta dive. I can't even swim. I need you to.
Did I lose you, Crystal? Crystal, are you still there? D-Lo, did I lose you?
I'm here.
You're there. Okay, Crystal bounced back. I know she'll be back. It's just a technology sometimes. It's something else.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so boom.
I said, why we gotta have a sports conversation? Talking about dad. First we gotta run. Now we got the dad. We just sit on the couch politely and just talk.
Well, let's have some conversation. How about that?
Yes.
So let's let the audience in. So Crystal, this is your third run of this show, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I just didn't know if I was not present at any one because I know this is my third run.
Yes, you have been at all of them. If you haven't done it, then we have not done it.
Salute. So it's always been the diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've always had the beautiful diamonds. This year, we're missing Ursula Ace.
Right.
She's an original diamond, but we have Kyra B returning. We have Nikki Giovanni returning. And this year, who is the third diamond? I know who she is because this is a queen, but I want you to introduce her.
Her name is Miss Nissa. Most people know her as Miss Nissa Charnissa Butts. She's well known around the Detroit area. Has sang many places with lots of the bands and all the hottest spaces, your Bakers and Woodbridge Pub and every spot. And, and she's traveled. She's done a lot of the major plays. I actually met her on a Vanessa Lynn production originally. I believe we met on Boss Lady.
Yes, that's where I met you. Initially, I think we met on Boss Lady. That's where I met Charnissa too on Boss Lady. Shout out to Vanessa Land. Yeah.
So she's amazing vocal talent. She leads bands and matter of fact, she and I were doing a gig about a month ago for a 50th birthday party. I was hosting. She actually was singing that night with the band, the live band that they had. So she has a long resume as well.
Okay.
And but this year, in addition to the diamonds, we have what I call onyx, another precious gem, another black stone, and that would be Mr. D-Lo. In my family, we go back a minute, so we have a nickname for him in our own family because he's one of my niece's good friends, and he's friends with my younger sister. And actually, he sang at my wedding. Coincidentally, he sang at my wedding, and I didn't have the typical wedding song. Everybody singing "Ribbon in the Sky" and "We Must Be in Love." All the what's the one Beck O'Brien used to sing years ago? "You and I."
Yeah.
I didn't have the typical wedding song. I went somewhere different, and he did it justice, and I was proud. And the only thing messed it up, the sound. They didn't have the microphone right, but he still went on and carried it just like a professional. The professional, they are not going to care if the sound is, wrong, because they're there to do a job. And
absolutely.
He did a job.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I can say too. I can touch and agree with you, Crystal, is that every time, and this is facts, D-Lo. Every time I've seen him, it's always an excellence. Performing, whether it's being an actor, whether it's being singing, blessing the people, because he has a unique sound. His voice is distinctive. If I was in a room blindfolded and he started to sing, I'm like, that's DeLorean. I was like, I know that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? But always humble, humility. You come in. I would say something at this moment about something, but I don't want to be sounding as if I'm shady because I'm not in the Florida area. I'm not, but you know, he knows how to, I guess we would say, play his position without, you know how like when you're in a relationship, and this is for our ladies out there, ladies, you know how you in a relationship with a man and you know he's a great man, but he doesn't show his full potential of being a leader, but you know that this man is a leader, otherwise you would not be with him because you're not going to follow a person that can't lead, right? So you sometimes tend to play a position and you might just step down a little bit, like how DeLorean introduced himself. He stepped down just a little bit and just said, okay, this is who I am. And so he knows how to do that effortlessly. But those that know him, they know when, like you and I, Crystal, we both was like, who intro is that? Like, that, what is that? Okay, so, okay. You know what I'm saying? That's where, yeah.
He took me to my bad English. I'm like, who him is? I don't know who
I can't. But yeah, I just had to say that. And so when you told me, Crystal, that he was coming on board, I, in my mind, said, he gonna kill these songs. And his stage performance is his presence, the way he works the stage, he works the crowd, the room, the energy, he feeds off the energy. I was like, match with your energy and the Diamonds, and then our MD and that amazing band. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
Come on now. That the people, ladies and gentlemen, if you got your tickets, you are already gonna be doubly blessed. But for those of you that's still waiting and trying to decide, please study long, study wrong. Let me just tell you that. So I just had to say that. And I'm getting geeked up. I'm getting chills as I say it because I just know how phenomenal this is going to be. But this is the first year that you brought forth an Onyx.
I've never, not in this capacity. Now, the very first show we did have Eric Dion.
Shout out to Eric Dion.
Do a duet. We had a duet. But the way that DeLorean has come into play, it's not like any of our previous shows. Yes. It's a totally different flavor, and just bringing the generations, because you know I'm not in the same era as D-Lo. So, you know, we meshing those two generations, but he has an old school spirit too.
Yes, he does.
And he's a chameleon, and he can fit right on into the room. So, you know, it's kind of like when you go into the nursing home and you have that young man, the little young man CNA working with all the little old ladies, making them comfortable. That's it. He come on in and just fit right in. But it's gonna be phenomenal, because for those who don't know him, they will be introduced to something phenomenal. And he's gonna give them something to talk about. And then for those that do know him, they're already going to be excited and eager in anticipation, because they already know what to expect.
Absolutely. Now, I have to ask this question. I know DeLorean has an extensive resume, but why did you choose DeLorean? You know a lot of people, Crystal, so why did you choose DeLorean?
Like I said, it's a lot of great singers in the city and a lot of great talents. Again, he sang at my wedding, and not only is he a phenomenal voice, he's just a phenomenal person to be around. He and I actually worked. I was hosting an event for empowerment. They had Marvin Sapp, and they had oh God, I can't think of the gentleman played the pianist, and I know him because I grew up with his wife. But it was a Christmas gospel event, and he was singing in the choir for that event as well. But when you work with him, he's a great person to work with. And for what my vision is for the opening number, it just works. I just knew okay, this is him.
Ooh.
You have different people, like you have all the art. Now I'm an old school R&B, so I like my Luther and my Peabo Bryson. I like Glenn Jones, but then I like Earth, Wind and Fire, and I like Mint Condition. And Luther is not going to do what Stokely does, and Philip Bailey is not going to do what Peabo Bryson does. And so what I'm looking for is what D-Lo can deliver on. And it goes beyond just the singing. Like you said, that energy, the working the stage, and, moving the crowd, working the crowd. He can bring that flavor. And like I said, you got to open the show. You got to open. One thing about my mind, I think differently. And a lot of times when people do shows, they do covers. And who hasn't done Golden a time or two? Right. In a show. But when I think about covering stuff or doing stuff, I kind of think outside the box. Sometimes I'll come from the B side.
You still there, Crystal? Did we lose you? You still there, D-Lo?
I'm here.
Okay, Crystal will bounce back in a moment. While we waiting on her to reconnect, because technology can be crazy sometimes. DeLorean, I have to ask you this while we're, because I know we didn't totally lose Crystal. I can still see she's connected. When you got the call from Crystal, why did you decide to say yes? Because this is different from anything you've done before, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So why did you decide to say yes?
That's absolutely one of the reasons too. I like to do different things that challenge me and challenge my gift from time to time. It's almost like playing different roles when you're acting. A lot of times people get typecasted in the same role, but you always want to do something that challenges you, something outside of the box, something that's different. So, of course, when I saw people, I remember she asked, she made a post, and people make posts all the time asking for singers, actors, this, that, and the other. And I get tagged in a lot of posts. And sometimes I'll go to the profile to see who tagged me. And if I see something, I'll be like, okay, or whatever, if it's not something. But then if it's somebody and I seen it was Crystal P looking for somebody to sing, and I'm like, okay. And then I looked through the list to see who people was tagging, and I said, okay, well, I'm not gonna make the cut because I said I'm not making the cut. That's just no. So I was like, I just left it alone because I saw who people were tagging, even though I was tagged in there a couple times.
Okay.
But baby,
oh my God, I'm not sure where I left off.
You're fine. I'm gonna bring you back, but DeLorean was telling us why he said yes.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll bring you. We knew you was coming back. We knew. So go ahead, D-Lo.
But yeah, so like I said, after I saw the tags and I saw the people that they had tagged in there, I said, I don't stand a chance to these brothers. So, because usually I send somebody a DM if I'm interested. I was like, but I saw the competition and I said, nope. And then, like maybe it was like a week later, and Crystal called my phone, and I was like, I know. Okay, hold on. I said she just calling for something else, whatever, And when I answered the phone. And she told me what it was for. And then I had to make sure I was available because I was like, oh, if I'm available, I'm doing it because number one, I already know what type of show Crystal. I've seen her perform 1,000 times. And I have not been to one of her experience shows.
Yes.
So I was like, it was an automatic yes off of that alone. But again, like I stated earlier, it's something different. It also challenges my gift when I tap into other things and other markets and things that I don't necessarily do on a regular basis. And then, like I said, Crystal is like family. So I already knew. And then I also know how Crystal rolls.
Yes.
I know the level of professionalism. I know the level of talent, the caliber of talent that she associates and affiliates herself with. And I know a lot of times when we talk, we're on the same page when it comes to this acting, this whole performing arts thing. As far as when we're doing business and things like that, we are typically on the same page when we discuss how we operate. So I already knew, even if things didn't go wrong, I'm doing it because I know how she rolls.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when we talk about energy and we talk about people that you work with and stuff like that. I know who I'll give a yes to without even looking at what it is that they putting on.
Aww.
I can just go off of the name. When somebody's name, because your name is all you have.
Yeah,
man.
You
did we say that on yesterday's show?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
You have to keep your name. You have to keep your name and your reputation in a position to where people, when they hear it, it's like, oh, I'm doing it. Oh, I'm going. Oh, yes.
Swear.
Like,
yes.
and that's all you
yes.
got. So that's what I try to do with myself. Make sure that my name stays in the conversation of those whose names are great and those who are professional and those who are just excelling in the things that they do.
Yes. Ooh, this is fire. This a whole, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, this is another podcast topic, but Crystal just spoke about that yesterday morning when we did her show, when we introduced her, letting people know she was taking over this week. And she said, that's all you have is your word. And you know how you fellas say, all I got is my, what y'all saying? I ain't gonna say, cause you the man. What y'all normally say, D-Lo?
What you mean when it comes to?
When a man says, all I got is my word, what y'all say?
Word is bond.
I know you know, this grown is sexy. This is adults listening this morning. Don't y'all say all a man got is his balls and his word?
Oh, yeah. That's a given.
Yeah,
but no, you're right. Right. I don't say that, but that's because you're different. You different,
but you had heard that, and even though it never really made sense to me, I used to be like, well, we ain't got balls, so I added on. Well, all I got is my tits and my word. You know what I'm saying? I got my tits and my words. I was
no like, real talk. Yeah, okay,
yeah. That's for real. And so now some of us go out and get implants, but no, I'm just playing. Okay, but
that's a whole different podcast right there.
I know. But I'm serious. So I feel you on that. When you said something that was golden, I don't care what it is. If a certain person call because you know their level of professionalism, I'll check my book. If I'm available, I'm like, okay, I'm down. You can send me the details later. I don't even need to know, because whatever my service is going to be 9 times out of 10 is stage management. I'm on board. And I'm on board. Or if it's artist assistant, then okay, that's dope too, because I love doing that as well. So it's just like, okay, but to be called, that's the thing, to be thought of. And like you said, when you see the group of people, like I said, we got a small circle here. Sometimes people go outside of Detroit locally when they want certain things. But if you got a diamond or a gem here, why go outside when you can, just keep polishing what you have?
Absolutely.
But I think, and we had a candid conversation, which we won't put names out there, that it's sad. Now, people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and others, you need to pay attention in how you function as an entrepreneur or business person that's representing a brand or organization or yourself. How you put yourself out there and how you treat your people and work with public stakeholders, people that's going to help you bring your vision to manifestation. You have to be conscious of what you do, how you move, because we talk. Absolutely. And what we not gonna do, I would never let my brother D-Lo sign up to work for somebody or even recommend him, refer him to somebody that I know. Oh no, they don't do this, they don't do that, they learn, because I know your level of expertise. Crystal, I already know when people, I'm looking for a comedian or somebody, I be looking like, I be quiet, because what y'all doing? Where is that? I think of all these factors for her. I'm not gonna have her on Mac and Bewick, even though I know she can handle herself. But y'all also talking under the table, like, well, if we can make it, we gonna try to pay. But if we don't meet that, then we gonna have to say, oh no, we not. I'm not referring anyone. No. That's just not happening. But people are not mindful, and then they get upset when people shade my name, throwing dirt on my name. You gave people the shovel. You provided the sand, the dirt, the cement. You're giving us the tools to do that. So stop giving people tools to bury you.
Absolutely.
In your craft. Right. Stop. Because nobody wants to work with you. You're not going to be able to fill seats because of who you are. And sometimes people that are shady try to get a Crystal P. They try to get a DeLorean Cotton because they need to fill the seats because their name don't hold no weight.
And once you
right,
don't
now.
pay somebody, the first time you don't pay anybody, it takes seconds for that to travel.
Ooh-wee. That's
Seconds.
true. Real talk.
And you know what, Crystal? I'll even say this. It's beyond it. I wouldn't even say the first time you don't pay, because that is a big factor. But what gets me is your integrity as a person.
Yes.
Because things happen.
Yes.
And when you work with somebody, I try to put myself in a position that anybody that I work with, I want you to understand, let's have a line of communication. Let's build some type of trust so that if something were to happen, life happens, things happen, that you can come to me and say, okay, so here's the deal. This came up and, I know this is what we agreed upon. I may not be able to get XYZ to you until, a few weeks later. It may not come out. Allow us to have that conversation as a person, because that shows me that you care, number one, and number two, that you're professional about it. Where it turns left for me is when something happens and you try to insult my intelligence by not saying something or trying to make it seem like something else happened or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's where it comes to play. Like, okay. Because I know there are situations that happen where, you can't pay somebody right away and things like that. And that's cool. But when you can't pay and your integrity is not up to par, then that's where your whole character comes into question.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
you're right about that. You're definitely right. But I'm a person that, and I said this on yesterday's show, whether I sell a ticket or not, my obligation is to say what I said I was going to do. And I always have the budget or money set aside even before the show goes forth, because if a ticket never sells, you still came and sang. You still came.
That's true. Absolutely.
And that's unfair to you to have poured your time and your energies and been away from your family or other obligations. You could have took another show, and to walk away with nothing in your pocket and people want to say, hey, can you step in here while I talk to you? No, we can stand out here and talk. What are you talking about?
No, you're right. You are right. Yeah. Now that I agree, because the same way, like I told you before, I'm responsible for my band. I don't hold the venue or whoever booked us as the responsible person to make sure pay. This is my band, so because of the relationship that I have with these fellas in my band, I've made a commitment to them because they make a commitment to me. We gonna rock together regardless of what happened. So I have a budget as well. Y'all gonna get paid if I don't get paid. If I'm the last person, I'll chuck it up. But y'all gonna get paid because y'all rolling with me, and and my circle and the D-Lo experience. We don't have friction. And the minute I see it, it's going to do it. So I don't want nobody saying I ain't playing for D-Lo when he gets around, because I may need some other musicians and things like that to step in if mine can't do the job. And I don't want that reputation. And I want them to respect the fact that I respect them enough to say, hey, look, I'm going to always communicate with y'all, but y'all going to be good regardless.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because that's my responsibility. But, everybody don't think like that. And,
no, they don't. No, they don't.
But again, that's why I said, me and Crystal, a lot of things that she does, we be on the same page with that stuff. So I'm already, I can, if she say something out loud, I was thinking it, or I know if I say something, so that's why I'm like, oh yeah, we here. I know. I'll be reading her post and I'll be like, yep. With the speaking in tongues person gift underneath her phone, because she's saying a word, you know what I mean?
I have to ask you something. So, Crystal, I don't think you want me to give away the songs, but can I give away the artists that some of the songs that, because I want to ask a question about a piece that you guys are doing.
Okay. Which one is it?
Probably the intro.
Okay.
So what made you pick that song? When you picked that song, because you could have picked a whole lot of songs, did you match that up with DeLorean's sound, or the way you envisioned that what he would work with? Because that artist, that's a dope, that's a dope
track.
It's a dope track.
So it's funny. One thing about my show, because people think, you get this idea to do a show and you just make the show happen.
Mm-hmm.
With my show, like the very first show we did in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Michael Elder was my sax player,
Yes.
both on the 15 show.
Yes.
And he and I have been longtime friends. I told him back in 2009 or 2010 my vision for that show. And so it didn't come to fruition until 2015. Sometimes I have ideas in my head, and I haven't quite made it happen or figured out how to put it together. But that particular song, and it's a medley. So
Yes,
the
it is.
second song, the main part of that number is a group that I've always loved and admired.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there watching some old school stuff, and I'm like, dang, that's the jam.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to come across their concert version, and I'm a person that hears rhythms. So a lot of times where you might be doom, 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 some people are going to think Rapper's Delight.
Yes.
And some people are going to think Good Times. So I hear a beat in my head, and sometimes several songs will come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I heard the very opening part of the song, the intro, is really from a gospel song, if people don't know gospel. But I love the instrumentation so strong, and I've always loved it. And I hear it, I'm like, oh, this can segue right into this song. So sometimes I have an idea in my head. It might sit in there for a month. It might sit in there for a year. It might sit in there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard this song, I have been thinking, okay, when Demetrius brought it to me, like, you got to do this show again. You got to do this show. And I'm like, yeah, I will. But I hadn't, you get that feeling. And it was until I heard that song, I got that feeling that I did. I'm like, that's the opener. That's what's going to get the people out their seats. Because most of the people that I play to, typically, well, you're employed, but usually it's like 35, 40 and up. Although I do have some younger people that follow me, it's typically the older crowd, and especially those that appreciate old school 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, some of the old school music. But that the song is the song that you don't typically hear from when people are doing songs. I dig in the B-side in a minute. When we did that second show, when people cover Jill Scott, they cover, they always covering Golden, they cover
Yes.
The Way, they cover
Yes.
Lizelle and E flat. We
Yes.
brought Crazy. And people were sitting there like, Crazy? What? Because they never played the B-side. Listen, Crazy is Fire by Jill Scott. When I did the very first show, a friend of mine from Lansing was there. We did Meet Me on the Moon by Phyllis Hyman. Well, people that don't know Phyllis Hyman, they always typically know what's on the radio. And he fell in love with that song that day. He had never heard. He like, what is... And to this very day, he's listening to Phyllis Hyman. like you wouldn't believe. So I throw in stuff that's not on the radar. I reach on the B-side or reach back because my show is for purpose. So the purpose might be to entertain. The purpose might be for you to learn a lesson. The purpose might be for you to receive a message. It's something to it. And that opening number it just got my juices flowing. And then the outro, while we were listening, or while I was listening to the main part of the song, I hear like some bells, like the keyboard program and playing something. And then another song just came in my head. And I'm like, hey, what if we said this at the end? Because it's an old school song that people like, they used to jam to, but it also, with the words that will be said, lets you know and sets the atmosphere for the rest of the show. Get ready. Get ready. Yeah. So it's always a method to my madness. I know I kind of think a little crazy.
And again, that's the thing. But no, you think outside of the box. And the crazy part is, I did not know she was a musician like the way that she is, because she goes there mentally. Like she said, I think of the B-side or stuff. I do the same thing, because some of the greatest songs that a lot of these artists have are the ones that don't make the airwaves, or the live streams and things like that. Yeah. And there's this one song, I remember when I did my show in 2019, and I opened it up with a Brian McKnight song. And when you think of Brian McKnight, all you think of Never Felt This Way, you think of Still in Love with You, you think of like all those songs. But there's a song that he has, it's called Another You. And it's almost like an interlude or whatever. But if you look up Another You, that song is crazy. And I was like, this it. This the one. I'm opening the show with this song. People probably ain't even never heard of it or whatever. But it was but that's the thing. It's like real musicians or people or singers or people, and that's how I was like, okay, Crystal. Okay. See, I ain't know that. But again, we'll listen to something and be like, oh my gosh, this is the song that need to be, this, that, and I tend to do that with a lot of artists. I go into their catalog and I listen to the songs that are not the popular songs, because a lot of those I'm like, man,
but
this right here.
Yeah. They are fire. And a lot of times people, the word, I mean, if you into the word, it says study to show yourself approved. Some folk ain't studied nothing, and that's why they don't know. People wonder why I have an affinity for Angela Winbush, but that sister is so bad. A lot of people don't realize she wrote for Stephanie Mills. The Power of Love is her song. But people only know the Stephanie Mills version. But y'all remember the real thing by Angela Winbush. If you go to her album, she's singing Power of Love on her Real Thing album. She wrote that for Stephanie Mills. Stephanie Mills is her best friend. And so there's a lot. That's why people should start reading credits, not just for movies, but for music, because then it'll give you a better understanding why the instrumentation is like it is, because it has a certain part. Tell when Angela is on keyboard or playing the piano on a certain song, because I know her style and her flavor. And a lot of people miss out on stuff. What we did on that first show, I did Nina Simone, Strange Fruit. A lot of times when people think of Strange Fruit, they think of what is the other great jazz singer that wore the rose in her head? Oh my goodness, it's my man. She was the one. She had a drug issue, real fair skin. Oh God, what is that jazz singer? She wore Simon? No, the back in the day, wore the flower in her hair. She died.
Not Ella Fitzgerald.
Not Ella Fitzgerald. Light skin. Go back.
I know you're talking about
I cannot say her name. Not the Rose. What is her name? It fails me, but she sang Strange Fruit. And so many people know her version, but Nina Simone sang that very song as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. Like, I played Nina Simone in a play one year, and I'm like, well, how can I deliver this character? Well, I got to study, and I read about her. She was bipolar. Back then, you didn't hear a lot about people being bipolar back then, and the things that she went through, being segregated. Her mother was a maid and also was a pastor, and her mom worked for a rich white family as a maid, and Nina became a pianist as a child. She was a child prodigy. They taught her how to play the piano, and she had a recital. She was just about 4 or 5 years old. Well, back then, Black folks, and they called us the N-word back then, could not sit in the front. And if you sat in the front and a white person came up, you had to give up your seat. And Nina Simone would not play on the piano till they put her mama back up in that seat at this venue. So a lot of stuff people don't know about, how she didn't understand why they moved her, but she was like, y'all need to get my mama back up there. And she cried. And she needed her mom to be back up in that seat that her mom had to give up because a white person wanted to sit there. She also talked about how she came up with the name Nina Simone because her mother was a pastor and into the church, and she was thought to have been singing the devil's music. So the only way that she could make money to go through the Curtis Institute, where she attended school, she sang as Nina Simone. So that they wouldn't know that she was singing the devil's music in the clubs, so she could make money. And so
come on with the history lesson.
Yeah, a lot of people don't study.
Self-approved.
Okay.
But it's like I said, any song that I do, there's always something behind it. There's a reason, a message for it. Even for me, some of these songs have taught me a lesson. Long rehearsals. I rehearse by myself a lot. Yeah. Crystal, why are you doing this? My MD always like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. But that's what separates my show from everybody. My show is never like anybody else's show.
Yeah.
Much
respect
that's
to that.
Good.
My show is not like anybody else's show. This is not anything about to make myself seem all grandiose.
No.
There's not many people that is going to give you comedy, music, and song.
Yeah.
Facts.
There's not a lot of people that can do to present it like that, or that can play an instrument and then do stand up. Stand up in itself it can be challenging, if you will.
Yeah.
So they get these different facets, and then they get these phenomenal professional musicians and singers on the stage with me. And because of their greatness, I have to push myself, because I've never considered myself a singer. I do consider myself an entertainer. And but not like to the level when people sing like Nissa. She's a belter. That girl can sing from her OPI polish on her toenail. You know what I'm saying? And then you have people that do runs. Some people are good at runs. Some people are good. My genre is more jazz and old school soulful stuff. So everybody has their niche, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
Even like Nikki has a timbre to her voice, and she can sing tenor and alto and different things, but she's a phenomenal singer. Her clarity and everything It's just more to it than, okay, I'm gonna sing a little note. Well, what's behind it? What's the feeling? What are you gonna get from it? What's the message? What's your purpose? Like, even when you learn a role doing a play, what's your motivation?
Yeah. I received that. I mean, that song, like, as ladies and gentlemen, the doors open this coming Saturday at 6:00. If you don't have your tickets, you definitely want to get there to the box office. Crystal, remind the people, for those of you that want to say, I don't want to wait. Today is Tuesday. I'm not waiting to the last minute and pulling up on Saturday afternoon, evening at that, to try to get a ticket at the door. So if people want to buy a ticket for this Saturday's amazing More Than the Eyes Can See event, tell them how they can do that. Oh no. Crystal P, you still there? D-Lo, you still there?
I'm here. So what y'all can do is, you know what I'm saying?
Come on,
all you gotta
D-Lo.
do is you gotta hit Crystal Crazy P up, okay? I know she on her Facebook page, she promoting. I'm gonna be promoting too. So if push come to shove, I'm just, buying time until she get back. But I know how to get in contact with Crystal. So if you need a ticket, you can holler at me on either one of my pages or Instagram. I'm DeLorean Cotton DeLorean on Facebook. So there's both names, either my last name or first name first, whatever, you gonna find me, or my Instagram at Team D-Lo. But of course, you can hit Crystal's page up. But I'm not sure. Like I said, she's probably gonna be out. She, as you said, she was at her show last night selling tickets. So she is selling tickets at the shows that she's doing. So she probably on foot. She said she ain't running, so I'm sure she's driving or walking around handing tickets and stuff out. But no, real talk, we hit it. Y'all know where to get them. But yeah.
I know they can still get them on Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Oh yeah.
Yep, you can still get them on Eventbrite. All the VIP are gone, so don't inbox, don't text, don't call, don't send an SOS message. It's going to be held at the beautiful Silver Garden in Southfield, Michigan. It's an amazing event center. If you've never attended anything there, you're in for a treat.
Absolutely.
Every seat in the building is a great seat. I know sometimes people say that, and that's not the truth, but I speak no lie. There's no lie there.
It is absolutely every seat.
Yes, it's awesome. It's 24350 Southfield Road in Southfield, Michigan. That's 48075. It's right there off the Southfield Freeway, right at Lincoln, or I guess at that point it would be Mount Vernon and Southfield Road. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't worry about parking. There's ample amounts of parking. And it's free parking. Yep. So parking is free. It's just going to be an amazing event. I am super excited for Crystal P. This is her 3rd year. I'm honored to have been, called to be her stage manager once again. I know that, we have a lot going on, preparing, we'll be seeing each other soon, DeLorean. We're still working. We're seeing a lot of each other lately because, we're working on this, both projects simultaneously. We're getting ready to do Peerless Times next week. Next Thursday, we'll be at the Fisher Theater. We can say that Crystal P is a supporter of TJ Hempfield. So that production is going down. And I'm super excited. And DeLorean, you're going to have to come back. I think we lost Crystal, but she might tap back in. If not, she'll be very proud that we were able to close this show out. But I definitely got to bring you back at your own pace.
You know it. I'm here.
Yeah, because you got a lot of things you're doing. I definitely got to come out and get the D-Lo experience because I have not seen you in your band. I only know about you. So I'm looking. I'm looking forward to that. Is there anywhere that people can catch you and your band on a constant basis, or is it just by events?
Most of the time it's by events. We were doing, and they call us ever so often, a lot of times maybe once or twice a month or something like that at Trust Lounge. We've been doing that. Okay. And I'm working on a consistent, on a actual weekly to get us somewhere weekly so that people can come out and enjoy us and everything like that. But outside of that, we do, we get booked. So booking weddings, private events, birthday parties, whatever. you name it. Like we'll be using my band for another show that I'm doing, for a stage play that I'm doing in May. So like,
what is that?
Everywhere.
What is that?
That's Because She's My Mother by Jay McClain.
Okay.
And that's going to be on Mother's Day, May 14th. So
I know.
Yeah.
I would have loved to come. I'm working with Beth. She's performing at the Fox.
Okay.
She's doing a show with Gladys Knight and someone else. I can't remember that person. Yeah, it's a Mother's Day concert, so I'm super excited about that. So,
that's
but
amazing.
I'm gonna keep up and make sure, because I definitely want to see you and your band perform. And it's been a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you for giving up your morning to help people get their Tuesday morning started.
Not a problem.
Gonna see you soon, because we'll be hitting it like really, really tough next week with back-to-back rehearsals, but I'll definitely see you this Saturday, because it's going down, baby, at the Silver Gardens. More Than the Eyes Can See with Crystal P. DeLorean, we're going to shut this show down. Much love to you, my brother. Much love to Crystal P. Technology is not always our friend, but that's what professionals do. We know how to start it and finish it without a hiccup. So
there we go. All right.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
See you soon.
All right.